Identity theft is a crime in which the perpetrator intends to use someone else's identity without their consent, usually for the purposes of financial and material gain, but not limited to only these. I believe most people are familiar with this concept. However, some might find it difficult to believe that there is a historical precedence for an entire nation to assume the identity of another, but it is true. There are the examples of the Greco Roman invasion of Egypt, where the Greeks and Romans were so awestruck by Egyptian culture that they themselves adopted it and assumed identities as pharaohs and queens in Egypt. There is the case of the Sidonians, Canaanites from Sidon living in Shechem, who professed themselves to be Yahudim to Alexander so that they could avoid paying the tax of the seventh year. There is a case of the nation of Edom, who were permitted to stay in the country after being subdued by the Yahudim if they would choose to adopt their laws and customs. And there is the most recent story of the Khazars, originally a Turkic people, seated between the Black and Caspian Seas in the region of the Caucasus Mountains, who would adopt Judaism en masse around the middle of the 8th century, only later to be defeated by the Russ, dispersing along the Slavic belt known as the Pale of Jewish Settlement. These Khazarian Jews would end up intermixing with the Sephardic Jews, whom I will provide evidence for, proving that they are the descendants of the nation of Edom, who were originally black, though many of them now can pass for white or have accepted honorary white status among the Europeans, and were heavily involved in the slave trade as both financiers, insurers, and also as ship and plantation owners. The Book of Bereshit, Genesis, chapter 25, verses 19 to 34. And this is the genealogy of Yitzhak, Abraham's son. Abraham brought forth Yitzhak. And Yitzhak was 40 years old when he took Rebekah as wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Aramean of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban the Aramean. And Yitzhak prayed to Yahuwah for his wife, because she was barren, and Yahuwah answered his prayer. And Rebekah his wife conceived, and within her the children struggled together. And she said, If all is right, why am I this way? So she went to ask Yahuwah. And Yahuwah said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples shall be separated from your body. And 1 people shall be stronger than the other, and the older serve the younger. And when the days were filled for her to give birth, see, twins were in her womb. And the first came out red all over, like a hairy garment. So they called his name Esau. And afterward his brother came out, with his hand holding on to Esau's heel. So his name was called Jacob. And Yitzhak was 60 years old when she bore them. And the boys grew up, and Esau became a man knowing how to hunt, a man of the field, while Jacob was a complete man, dwelling in tents. And Yitzhak loved Esau because he ate of his wild game, but Rebekah loved Jacob. And Jacob cooked a stew, and Esau came in from the field, and he was weary. And Esau said to Jacob, Please feed me with that same red stew, for I am weary. That is why his name is called Edom. But Jacob said, Sell me your birthright today. And Esau said, Look, I'm going to die, so why should I have birthright? Then Jacob said, Swear to me today. And he swore to him, and sold his birthright to Jacob. Jacob then gave Esau bread and stew of lentils, and he ate and drank, and rose up and left. Thus Esau despised his birthright. The Book of Bereshit, Genesis, chapter 27, verses 1 through 45. And it came to be, when Yitzhak was old and his eyes were too dim to see, that he called Esau his elder son and said to him, My son. And he answered him, Here I am. And he said, See now, I am old, I do not know the day of my death. Now then, please take your weapons, your quiver and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt wild game for me. And make me a tasty dish, such as I love, and bring it to me to eat, in order that my being does bless you before I die. And Rebekah heard when Yitzhak spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt wild game and to bring it. And Rebekah spoke to Jacob her son, saying, See, I heard your father speak to Esau your brother, saying, Bring me wild game and make me a tasty dish to eat, and bless you in the presence of Yahuwah before my death. And now, my son, listen to my voice according to what I command you. Please go to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats, and I make a tasty dish from them for your father, such as he loves. And you shall take it to your father, and he shall eat it, so that he might bless you before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, See, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth-skinned man. What if my father touches me? Then I shall be as a deceiver in his eyes, and shall bring a curse on myself and not a blessing. But his mother said to him, Let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice and go get them for me. And he went and fetched them and brought them to his mother. And his mother made a tasty dish, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took the best garments of her elder son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the young goats on his hands and on the smooth part of his neck. Then she gave the tasty dish and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he went to his father and said, My father. And he said, Here I am. Who are you, my son? And Jacob said to his father, I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you said to me. Please rise, sit, and eat of my wild game, so that your being might bless me. But Yitzhak said to his son, How is it that you have found it so quickly, my son? And he said, Because Yahuwah your Elohim brought it to me. Then Yitzhak said to Jacob, Please come near, so that I may feel you, my son, whether you truly are my son Esau or not. And Jacob went near to Yitzhak, his father, and he felt him and said, The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau. And he did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy like his brother Esau's hands, and he blessed him. And he said, Are you truly my son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and let me eat of my son's wild game, so that my being might bless you. So he brought it near to him, and he ate. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Yitzhak said to him, Please come near to me and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his garments, and he blessed him and said, See, the smell of my son is like the smell of the field, which Yahuwah has blessed. And Elohim give you of the dew of the heavens and of the fatness of the earth, and plenty of grain and wine. And let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Be master over your brothers, and let your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be those cursing you, and blessed be those blessing you. And it came to be, as soon as Yitzhak had finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had hardly left the presence of Yitzhak his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he too had made a tasty dish, and brought it to his father, and said to his father, Let my father rise and eat of his son's wild game, so that your being might bless me. And his father Yitzhak said to him, Who are you? And he said, I am your son, your firstborn, Esau. Then Yitzhak trembled exceedingly, and said, Who was it then who hunted wild game and brought it to me? And I ate all of it before you came, and I have blessed him. Yes, he is blessed. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with an exceedingly great and bitter cry, and said to his father, Bless me too, O my father. And he said, Your brother came with a deceit and took your blessing. And Esau said, Was his name then called Jacob? For he has caught me by the heel these 2 times. He took my birthright, and see, now he has taken my blessing. And he said, Have you not reserved a blessing for me? Then Yitzhak answered and said to Esau, See, I have made him your master, and all of his brothers I have given to him as servants, and I have sustained him with grain and wine. And what then shall I do for you, my son? And Esau said to his father, Have you only one blessing, my father? Bless me too, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Yitzhak his father answered and said to him, See, your dwelling is of the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heavens from above. By your sword you are to live and serve your brother. And it shall be, when you grow restless, that you shall break his yoke from your neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father draw near. Then I'm going to kill my brother Jacob. And the words of Esau, her elder son, were reported to Rebekah. And she went and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, See, your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you, to kill you. Now, my son, listen to my voice, and rise and flee to my brother Laban in Haran, and stay with him a few days, until your brother's wrath turns away, until your brother's displeasure turns away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him. And I shall send and bring you from there. Why should I be bereaved of you both in one day?
I saw her the day she came in the gym.
Y'all met in the gym?
Yeah, she was so fine.
What was it like marrying a black lady? You white?
Well, Jewish. We're the original black people. Let me school you. Adam was a black man.
My
Abraham
Jewish
was a black man. Married to a black woman.
I never thought I would marry outside of my nationality. But she's Dominican. I'm all the way black.
I think we're the carbon copy of you guys. I think we're the carbon copy of you guys. I think we're the carbon copy of you guys.
Security, hello, KK. KK.
Come here. You hate Jesus? You hate yourself? You hate Jesus? You hate yourself? You hate me? You disgrace Jesus? Huh? Talk.
Francis, wacha kupige.
Talk. Talk. Come on, bitch. Come on, whore. You open my fucking room, I'll fucking kill you. Sir, he has disgraced Jesus. He has disgraced Jesus. He has disgraced Jesus.
Francis, umpige, toka mbele yake.
Toka. I am not going to tolerate no more. Jesus is not going to tolerate it. Yeah, feel me. Fuck Uganda. I've come to love Uganda. I've come to help Uganda. But Uganda hates Jesus through this son of a bitch. You understand me, brother? You understand me? Yes, sir, I know you do. No. You obey what I say. I don't obey you. You understand? Open my fucking room now. You understand? Bitch, nigger, bitch. Look at me. Look at Christ who died for you. Look at me. Look at Christ who died for you. Look at Christ.
At Agnes Hicks's obituary, this was for her viewing and funeral that was held here inside this church Tuesday morning. Hundreds of people showed up to pay their respects, but it all ended abruptly when someone knocked over and damaged the church's sacred cup, also known as a chalice. A cell phone records a chaotic scene from the church pews as an argument between the pastor and family laying their loved one to rest escalates, while the body of 54-year-old Agnes Hicks lays in her casket right nearby. A short time later, the family is seen carrying out her casket to leave, with shocked attendees and police cars in the parking lot.
This was uncalled for. Uncalled for at that church. And it really hurt me. Really do. To see your loved one come there to rest and be shut down like that.
Hicks's family is still traumatized over what happened. They say Agnes Hicks was baptized as a young girl at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Charlotte Hall, and it's where she had always wanted her funeral. But things got ugly at her viewing with Pastor Michael Breezy. This is a photo of him from the church's website, when family says someone went in for a hug and accidentally knocked over the church's sacred chalice near the altar.
That's when all hell broke loose. He literally got on the mic and said there will be no funeral, there will be no mass, no repast. Everyone get the hell out of my church. He was disrespectful. He disrespected our family. He disrespected my mother. He called my mother a thing. He said, get this thing out of my church. Everyone get the hell out of my church. It was very sad. It was very sad. And I never seen anything like that before.
Family says the pastor then called police.
Bad enough we had to bury our own mother yesterday. But for you to say she's a thing and it will be no funeral, you're not a preacher. You're not a pastor. You're not a father of the Lord. You're not none of that.
Acting like that,
you're the devil.
In white churches, especially across the board, we are all struggling with how to deal with issues of race. The white church is the most segregated hour that we have in our culture. And I think some of my comments may have made some of members uncomfortable, and that's okay up to a point. And then that point became apparent that it was not time for me to be with the church any longer. I think you have to understand the context of the white church and the history of the white church. This is not just a Winston-Salem, North Carolina issue. This is not just an issue that is faced by small churches. It's faced by large churches. How do we grapple with these issues of race?